What? Hi, everybody.
Hey everybody, welcome to TFT, Tarot for Today, Divine Dabblings with Oberon.
And me, Banshee.
Welcome to the show.
And it's another ugly background.
Wow.
Better than the other ugly background.
Yeah, I didn't put the backdrop up, so he's trying to hide the nasty window coverings.
No, I'm not trying
We need
to
to
hide
get
anything.
replaced.
I'm not trying to hide anything.
I like you in the
You
clouds. I like your head in the clouds. It's kind of fitting.
Floating there.
Floating worlds.
Hi, Marita.
Hey everybody. Well,
I'm trying to incorporate, but I'm just not getting there.
too much coffee.
Look at me! Look at me! Okay, that's the show for everybody. Me playing with my image.
All right, well, at any rate, I'm going to get on with the card for the collective. And it is the Garden... Oh, gosh. The Field Guide to Garden Dragons. That is the full title of the deck. It's a cute little deck. I'm using it for the collective tomorrow. Let's see what our card will be for today. I love this little deck. Victoria, stop that multitasking. I've told you, it's not a good idea. It is not. Hey, Kara.
I can do that.
Did I miss you, Kara? Did you just come in? I think you just came in. Sure, I got the list up to date. Let me get you on it.
Feng Shui.
Oh, yeah, I need to, move some Kai around here. That is for sure. Right.
Kaka.
Well, we're going to let the floating head here, Mr. O, pull a card for the collective. They're right upright.
Mushroom Dragon.
Oh!
Illusion.
Ooh. Mushrooms. I don't like mushrooms, by the way. Sorry, Mushroom Dragon.
There's no illusion about that.
No illusion about that. All right. Well, the colorful mushroom dragon is a visual delight. However, you will want to wear gloves when doing field research. This dragon's skin is toxic in several places. Well, it goes on about the illustrious history of the mushroom dragon and the habitat it stays in, and gives field notes. This is such a cute little whimsical deck. But the mystical meaning of this card is know what you are looking at. Trust your instincts. Sometimes things really are too good to be true. This brightly colored creature is a mix of things benign for you and things bad for you. You must be wise enough to know the difference. It's tempting to just grab the first dream you have, but you might miss out on something even better. When the mushroom dragon shows up, remind yourself that education is a smart thing. Don't let yourself poison the future by latching onto the wrong petty shiny thing or person. Well, education is a smart thing. But we're not handling education very well in this country of recent times. However, illusions from what should be more tangible and real. It has sort of the feel of the Seven of Cups to me a little bit here, to choose wisely, and not just go after any dream in your head. I mean, you have to realize what's good for you and maybe not so good for you, or just what's reachable and maybe not so reachable for you at this time. It's great to have dreams. It's great to work on things that, seem out of your reach, and we should challenge ourselves, but we have to be realistic, on some level.
Fantasy will set you free. Steppenwolf.
Well, we have a difference of opinion there, but that's what I have for the collective. Good luck with that. All right.
It's a
Well,
red herring message.
well, Kara, I'm going to use that one deck I have and see what we come up with for you when that comes up. Well, we could do the tarot. Maybe we should do the tarot and follow it up with this. We did that once before, and I like doing that. All right, Kara, we'll get to that when the time comes. Alrighty, today I am using...
Pooping in and out. Oh, popping in and out.
Okay. I am using the Seaborn Lenormand. I haven't used it in a while, saving it for summer month use. But I have that in the mix today. I took out the Magical Hours deck because I put that in order so I can do an unboxing of that and review a video this week. It will be coming out sometime in the near future.
I'm the one that says pooping.
All right, so let's see. Let me get the list out there. Other than Kara, I don't think anybody else has popped in. Hey, maybe we'll have a smaller, shorter show tonight. We shall see. All right, so the list, we're starting with Libra Cusp.
What's coming towards me? Alrighty then. I'm going to open with my new Joker Tarot. But the joke is not on you.
Got to go out this morning and take a walk by the pond in our community. There were a number of people out there today. It was nice. I wanted to get out there before the sun got too warm. I got to watch my sun exposure.
And this tarot has an unboxing. It's just a brief unboxing, flip through some minor comments on our YouTube channel. So I would be very happy if you watched it and gave it a like. All right, so Libra asks, what is coming towards me? And it's the Hanged Man. So some sense of dealing with ego issues, emotional issues that revolve around you, maybe correcting behavior within yourself, or maybe trying to make a bargain with yourself or with others about certain things, and you will give up something for that. There's an idea of sacrifice, but there's also an idea of trying to see what the ego really wants to happen and or see if it's in accordance with your true self in a way.
I think, Libra, what's coming towards you is a period of suspension, maybe suspending some activities for a while, maybe taking a bigger, broader look at what needs to be done, or maybe even if you should be applying your energy on this, on whatever you're working on at this time. I think the Hanged Man wants you to pull back a little bit for a time. And it's interesting, Libra, because I'm kind of getting that message with some of our cards for the collective lately as well. So it's kind of fitting in. And I think you might see that message carrying in a little bit tomorrow as well.
All right, so why is this important then? This idea of what's coming to you. And it's the Queen of Pentacles.
There you go. It's time to take, I would just say maybe it's important because it's time to nurture yourself and others. Maybe step back, relax, and enjoy time with family, friends, people you're close with, and and give some care to one another. This might be a time for you to also look after your material well-being. And when I'm saying that, I'm thinking more in terms of maybe working on your home a little bit, home projects. Do some things that are more relaxing activities in and around the home. Nothing that's going to be stressing you out in any way. No major like home improvement projects I'm talking about here, but things that might make you feel a little bit more comfortable.
I have a feeling that the card ties in with the first one on the level of maybe your self-seeking validation, if only from yourself, but certainly from others who should, understand what it is you do to take care of them, to take care of yourself, to take care of a household. There's the security idea there in that sense of a household. And so maybe what you are suspending are things that maybe are more flattering to your ego or other perceptions in order to really hunker down and take care of the business that's really at hand.
So where are things heading?
And it's another queen, but it's the reversed Queen of Cups.
I almost feel here maybe you're doing this preemptively, because you realize, maybe because you are feeling that maybe some tough times are ahead. You're trying to calm things down. It's almost like I'm feeling like, in a way, that this might be the calm before the storm a little bit here. Maybe you're concerned about, something happening that's going to stress you out more. Maybe you're just trying to get yourself ready prepare yourself for some shift of energy. I don't know why I'm feeling that. Those two queens are kind of throwing me off. What do you got with that?
And that sneeze that someone may have heard a moment ago was the sign that Sunny entered. Sunny entered from stage right.
What do you got with that, queen?
Well, to me, I guess where it's leading to is the realization, perhaps, that you have to balance some of your emotional needs for yourself and others within this overall context. It's not enough,
I like that.
maybe to suspend, certain things or to put your ego in check in a way. You may have to deal with the emotional fallout from that. Sometimes when we're denying parts of ourselves or parts of our ego or emotional structure, this may lead to an imbalance in the future. So I think Spirit is saying, do what you need to shore up things, but don't negate yourself too.
I'm going to go back to that queen, I think, when I throw this out, but this is what I've got here. Oh, was that first? Yes, it was.
It was. And it's the sickle scythe and the garden. Ooh la la.
I don't know why, but I think that's tying into that Queen of Cups in a way. I like what Mr. O said there. I'm wondering, though, if maybe some of the reason you want to stick to your home front and maybe do things to make yourself feel more comfortable, suspend activities, is because maybe, your social life has been causing a little bit more stress or strain. Maybe there's some relationships that are a little bit tense right now, causing some emotional upheaval. So staying in the home front and doing things, for family, making yourself feel more comfortable, suspending activities for a while might be just what you need to get emotionally back on track again.
Alrighty.
Do you want to go with Lenormand?
Yes. Okay. So in the Lenormand, what's coming towards you? How does this apply to this? This could be very well saying that there are a number of things you do need to consider cutting back, but maybe in social is not one of them, because the site sort of curves away from that. And so maybe from your social outlook, you want to keep those things up. This is really saying this is maybe more about your home life, your possessions, your activities that relate specifically to you in your home or family. But at this time, don't negate or don't try to stay out of the public view. Maybe you just need to be present there somehow so that people don't worry about you, or people don't think, you're antagonistic or something like that.
Well, that's what we have for you, Libra. Good luck with that. I'm going to
Good
move
luck, Libra.
you, Sunny, for a moment. So I get the list, and we are on Airy.
Hi, Ari. And I know you're at work, and I know you've asked a question. I'm going to look and see how that fits in with your first question.
Oh, did they?
That yet?
No.
Okay, no, that's fine. Great. Okay, so that's you.
Okay.
The second job in 2 or 3 weeks.
Second job in the next 2 to 3 weeks. Okay. Let's see. Let's see what it looks like. Let's see. Let's use that. Let's go right at the beginning. Oh, good grief. I'm going to shuffle one more time. These cards are a little bit stiff. There we go. Well, you got the Seven of Wands upright. Got the Knight of Cups upright.
Now, when you ask a question about jobs, you get one about romantic things.
Well, happiness, anyway. And you've got the Justice reversed.
In the Lenormand, we have the snake and the crossways.
Crossroads.
Crossways?
Yeah, they call it the ways in that deck.
Righty, I forgot that.
Sorry. You. Well, it's interesting. I thought this was going in a good place until I saw that last card in the Lenormand. I'm not sure. I feel like it's possible. It's possible you could get a job in the next 2 to 3 weeks, as you said there, because it looks as though with the seven, well, but for the Seven of Wands being here, I will say this: you're going to have to fight for it. You're going to have to stand up, stand tall and stand above competition for it. I know that you're looking for things in the food industry and stuff, and this is the time of year a lot of students and whatnot are looking for work, and so they may be vying for these jobs for summer jobs too. So that might be what that card is indicating here. It does indicate, though, because obviously you're more mature perhaps than some of the people applying for the jobs, and you have experience, that you might be able to stand tall above the competition. That's what that card says. But that doesn't mean that it's necessarily going to be a cakewalk. Right?
Well, to me, the 7-1 says you're at the top of your game. I mean, that's what it looks like. They're at the top of their game. You're easily able to defend what may be coming towards you, but will this work offensively for you? Will you be able to be more motivated to push forward on this? I think you will, but I think you're also going to be concerned with looking at where the competition is and wondering if you have to figure out if you really do outclass them or outskill them in some way.
Now,
Moving on,
the Knight of Cups Well, the Knight of Cups is saying to me that, this is a coming or going of something that could bring you great joy or happiness. I think that, you want to, this would make you feel really comfortable right now getting a second job. You feel you're ready for it. You do. It may not be the reality when I see justice reversed, but we'll get to that later. I feel here, though, this is what you want. This is what you're striving for. This is what you're moving towards.
There is a comfortability involved with this card, the Knight of Cups. Knight of Cups is sensing a movement, and it's towards something you enjoy or something you've been desiring. It mostly can pertain to emotional relationships, but you can have an emotional relationship with your work, really loving your work or loving what you get from your work. So I think this is saying that, along with the first card, that you are motivated to really see yourself in a better position. You want to see yourself at the end of that journey being exactly pretty much what you had foreseen for yourself.
Now, that being said, justice reversed is a little bit of a thorn in the side, plus those Lenormand are a little questionable. But I would say with justice reversed, it could indicate one of two things to me. One is that, there may be some decisions that you might be feeling that at least some things that you are applying for, if not all, you're not being treated fairly. You're not just, you feel like you're not being judged fairly by, whoever's interviewing you. Or it may indicate to me that you could get a job in the next 2 or 3 weeks. However, it may cause a little bit of imbalance in your life. You may feel you're ready for this. This is what you want. But are you, will it cause some issues for you down the road? That's sort of what I'm looking at there, too.
Well, from that idea of what Banshee's talking about, I look at justice reversed and I wonder if this is just saying a decision being delayed, that maybe it happens, but it just doesn't happen in 2 to 3 weeks like you would want. And, a lot of times, many of us feel that way, like we sort of have this idea, I want this and I want this to happen in this amount of time. I've heard that from you before, Ari, in certain respects. But sometimes the wheels of cosmic justice just go the way they are. So I do feel with the better cards, Seven of Cups or Wands and Knight of Cups, it's saying maybe this is going to happen for you, but just not exactly the way you want. Or there could be another complication there. Maybe you apply for one job, but maybe they see you in another job, and so they ask you if you wouldn't mind taking a different position instead, or they want to put you in some different situation that says it's not exactly what you thought. And so in that sense, it could be a sense of this decision isn't exactly what you wanted. I still feel something good is going to happen for you. However, we have those Lenormand.
Did you want to do the Lenormand first?
I'll do that.
Okay.
Let's see. You're welcome too, Ari, for the read. Yeah. So maybe it could be something else like that. I'm glad you added that in there because, of course, we were thinking of the food industry, but you never know, right? And, those skills could go somewhere else. Now,
wait, before you get to that, I noticed you mentioned something with that justice card that kind of implied patience. And so I just thought I'd tell you, Ari, that, or that maybe the timing, might take a little bit longer. So in other words, you might have to be patient here. You might have to adjust your time frame on when this is going to happen for you. My oracle card for tomorrow is about patience and not rushing process. So it's interesting that came up and he said that because I thought of that card immediately. All right, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Okay, so the crossroads, the ways, and the snake. This could be saying that maybe you might feel as you're trying to figure out the paths to take, because maybe something else does pop its head up and say, like, oh, well, maybe you want to work in this instead of the food industry. But be careful, because there may be some amount of deceptions or misinformation that's not quite there for you. And, sometimes an employer looks at a young person and they have a nice operation going on, but they want to put you in the place they want you in, not necessarily the place you want, which is something I alluded to up there. It's an employer's market. They have the power to pretty much say, no, we don't need that. next, that kind of thing. So if you are involved in these movements, be careful. Check out all the things there. Look and stick to your guns as much as you can. I mean, obviously, if they say this or no job, then you have to consider that. But be careful of things that may be trying to distract you or deceive you from either your true choices or reasonable choices.
So all I really want to say for that one is, in short, is that um, be be cautious with your approach to what job you want to pursue as your second job. Not all the paths, not all the ways here are going to necessarily be right for you. And I think here that, don't deceive yourself and just take something because you want a second job. Make sure it's really right for you because it might not end up well. The snake being here, you could be betraying yourself by making the wrong choice. So that's all I'm going to add to that. Good luck with that.
All right, Eric, good luck in your job search. I know it's important.
All right, we're on Jackie.
And Jackie wanted to know about a past life that had a family. I think that's what it was. Let me go back and look at that. The family you had. Okay, so we're going to try to sort of give an idea what that family is. Let's see.
I need to see that question exactly.
It's near the top. I'm just trying to think of what deck I want to use.
Okay. Past life reading about the family I had. Okay.
I'm going to use my Murder of Crows tarot.
Well, shoot. Of course, I'm trying to reach something I cannot, but I've got it. All right. I might throw the Lenormand on this, but I definitely want to do the past life lesson from that past life or takeaway from the past life energy oracle that I brought down. So, at long last.
Three cards. So the first one is the reversed Queen of Swords. And then we have the reversed Temperance. And another reversed. The reversed Devil. So you lived in a really nasty family, if I had to be pretty quick and succinct about it.
The last one? I'm sorry.
Devil reversed.
Yeah, okay.
Well, that's your one saving grace there, is that maybe you got away from this family, and or maybe that's what sort of gives you this idea about it in a past life. Did you want to throw those?
Yeah, I guess. She got away because she got married.
You had to get married to get away from these evil people.
Doesn't that seem to indicate it?
Tower. But did you go from the frying pan to the fire, or? I see. It doesn't surprise you. So the Queen of Swords reversed, that could have been a mother figure, somebody that was really harsh and only saw things in terms of maybe themselves, their needs. They might not have been a horrible parent, but they were just more or less a selfish parent.
It's interesting to me. They're very overbearing, I feel the queen, and very stern and strict. They had certain expectations on how and I'm getting the feeling here, I'm just getting the feeling that you probably were a woman in this past life, a girl, and they had real expectations on how you should behave. Okay. And so they were kind of strict, or she was kind of strict. And so what's the second card?
Well, wait a minute. To go with that idea, though, I think this also means, too, that they really felt they had the power to decide what your life should be like.
True
Okay,
that.
so the second card is Temperance reversed.
Right. And I feel here that this could either be talking about you, but I really would rather not talk about you. I'd rather talk about the family environment. I feel there was a lot of up and down, a lot of what do I want to say, turbulence in this family. You know, people were not getting along well. There was people maybe trying to vie for, to be in mom's good graces, so to speak. And so it caused a lot of turbulence and discontent. I do think you had siblings.
I do, too, because most people did back then. It wasn't until more or less this last century, the latter part of it, that people started having less children. Children, and there wasn't reliable family planning stuff back then. But when I look at that Temperance reversed, I get the feeling like this is more about a methodology that was employed, maybe mostly by your mother, but maybe by other people in the family. And that was a sense of a gaslighting. Oh, you're my best because blah blah blah. Oh, you're not my best because of blah blah blah. So I get the feeling that intemperate idea there adds or lends weight to the idea that this was somebody who maybe manipulated people, that person there. I just sort of feel that. The last card is the Devil
You
reversed.
ultimately were able to free yourself from this person's control. And my personal feeling is, as soon as I saw the tower and the ring, is that you did it through marriage. You married somebody and you finally felt like you had a life of your own. Now, that being said, I know it's tempting to say that maybe this was a forced or arranged marriage by this mother who was so controlling, but I don't think so.
No,
I really don't think
because this
so.
is throwing off the
Because of
chains.
right, because of the
Throwing
devil.
off the chains.
You were able to free yourself through this
Now,
marriage.
what is also possibly remarkable here is this is a marriage that allowed you to do better. That most people,
Exactly.
in most circumstances, stayed in their relative class or situation. And so getting married might have gotten you away from your family, but it still brought you into possibly, as a woman, another life of servitude. This may have been different for you in this life because the devil reversed is a sense of freedom, of oppression, freedom of things that hold you down. And so somehow I'm getting the feeling you managed in this life to be married to or marry somebody who was able to treat you better and maybe pull you away from all of that kind of baggage stuff going on there. And I think Banshee's right. I think the ring in the tower, you know, um,
This is really odd, though. Um, so the takeaway from this,
we didn't say what it was.
pardon me. Oh, well, yeah. I'm sorry.
Finding love. And this is another Lenormand, or what is this? An oracle?
This is called the past life energy oracle that we used in one of our past life readings recently. Finding love, spouse, lover. Well, this is interesting. Um, it's almost as if, and I wonder here, I'm looking at. I'm going to read this whole thing, including the karmic shift, because I think it's important to have this context here, considering what we just told you about your past life. This card reveals the potential of a past life love reconnecting in some way. Relationships change from life to life. Through repeated incarnations, we grow closer and closer. First, we start out as passing acquaintances, become friends. Some lifetimes closer relationships develop, such as family members, cousins, siblings, parents, and children. In time, even a greater intimacy connects us, and we move into more profound attachments with one another. Some become closer emotionality, others expand into physical intimacy, but not necessarily. This card indicates some connection from the past is returning to you in a new relationship. Um, you may recognize the past life bond merely in the resonance you feel when you meet. This may express itself in a romantic association, but to me, it does not have to be. Of course, your choice to be your own best friend and loving supporter will open the door to this karmic reunion even further. Open your heart to all types of potential love reaching out to you from the distant past. Soon the whispers of old friends will turn into the music of happy present companions. And the karmic shift is, remember, your first and most important karmic relationship is with yourself. The universe and your own energetic readiness is preparing you for heartfelt love. Treat yourself the way you want to be treated. You deserve love in all its forms. Know that your eternal soul projects and receives divine love at every turn and in every breath. Someone who resonates at that same soul level longs to share that energy with you. My personal feeling here is this person, whether it was a love relationship or not, may have played a role in your life or will at some point here if they have not come in yet. They are the person you probably married in this lifetime and escaped from harm, and they're coming back. I just have this feeling.
Yeah, if it didn't already happen, it is coming back, and I sort of feel like that's because of this card here. They freed you or helped you free yourself, and that created a
This
really strong bond.
Whether it turns
Played out
into
with those
love,
two.
friendship, or whether it was a family member who truly supported and cared about you, think about it. Who could this be? But I do feel if you don't feel it's anybody now, it will be somebody coming into your life again that was there before and in this lifetime. Wow, real interesting reading.
That was a cool reading.
Good luck with that.
I hope you thought it resonated. I guess you did. Ah, good.
Good.
Nice. I'm happy.
I never know how it's going to turn out when I throw something like this into the mix. But when I saw that card, I'm like, wow, this seems karmic, like the whole family thing did. Good luck with that, Jackie.
Hi, Marita.
Okay, so yes, we are on Marita.
Who's coming towards me in the next 3 months in job, or what is coming towards me in the next 3 months in job stability?
Okay. Right. Let me get my next deck. Yeah. No, wait a minute. That's the one I'm going to use. Sorry I was shuffling off camera. I promise you I was not stacking the deck. And to prove that, we have the King of Pentacles reversed. But lo and behold, beautiful card, we have the Sun upright. That's right, they misnumbered this card. It's Justice reversed.
Now, where have I seen that before?
It's so strange that they did that. Anyway. Well, stability, security, I'm not so sure about, but something good is going to happen. Go ahead. Oh.
So the cross and the key.
Wow. Well,
I have
Marita,
a glimmer, but you'll have to corroborate with me, maybe.
I don't know. The King of Pentacles are reversed indicates to me that it just seems as though you might have a difficult time getting your footing somewhere. I don't know if you're working right now. You're asking more about job stability than finding a job. So I'm not sure if that's what it's about. So if you're working right now, it just might be that you're having problems kind of keeping it together. Maybe it's because you're lacking some motivation. Maybe it's because you're hoping for something else to pop up in your life. You've seen a key in your dreams. Well, the cross, unfortunately, is not a great card there, but we'll talk about that. So it just seems as though there might be some difficulties keeping your head above water. I don't know if this has to do with maybe not making enough money, you're feeling that, you're falling short here, or if it's about the job itself. What do you think?
Because you asked about job stability, I sort of take that away from you personally and look at it as an overall situation, like the economy as it impacts jobs and employment. And so I sort of feel like there's not a lot of control
That's
in
it.
this, for you, let alone anyone, that maybe the job market, the stability factors are a little bit uncontrollable. Maybe they're hard to manage, or maybe whoever manages them can't quite. Some of that's based on those factors of supply and demand. People have to lay off people because their product is no longer in demand, that kind of thing.
Did
So,
you see that? That might give you a little more info. So
see,
yeah,
okay.
so that makes sense to me about the lack of stability. So you still might not be where exactly you want to be here financially or with job security because part-time jobs they can come and go.
Please don't get on there.
Too late?
No, it's okay. She never really does more than a little gurgle. Keep talking. I'll take
Okay,
care of
we
it.
had a cat.
Oh,
Oh,
a lot.
okay. And she's doing it again over there too.
This wasn't her. This was probably him.
Him?
I'm
Oh.
wondering.
Well,
Can you just keep going?
we've
So
got
I
a
don't lose
couple of
the.
cat cleanups to do. So let me continue the reading, and Mr. O can catch up with his look at things. Thank you for taking care of that, Mr. O. So
Fun.
the sun is a ray of hope here. I think here you just got to keep remaining optimistic despite conditions around you at this time. You may feel like you're not getting a fair shake in life and that things are still out of balance with justice being reversed here. But, I think this is saying that the future will look brighter ultimately, but you have to remain optimistic. The key here, to me, is that you should, when I see the key and something like the cross talks about stress, worries, long term anxieties, and stuff like that. So the key here is clearly to eliminate that. You have to have a better attitude about your future and not let things get to you. Realize that things are going to open up for you in their own time. I think some things take longer than others. Some things take longer than others to unfold.
The sun, to me, is a sign that maybe within this period of time, the 2 to 3 months, that things will start getting better. But justice reverse could be indicating
Yeah, go ahead.
that it's still not exactly the way you want, that you're still not really coming across maybe to employers or to other situations in a way that meets their needs as well as your own. You're asking about stability. This could just be saying that the market still ends up sort of being in a hard spot like it is now, but the sun says luck and or determination may make the difference.
Well, maybe. I think here that just remain optimistic and hopeful because I do think the sun indicates that in time it's going to change. Things are going to shift and become much brighter. So try not to stress and worry too much about it. Do what you can to keep, to maintain, your life. And bring, and pay your bills, etc. Try not to let things get out of hand.
I'm just waiting for my next opportunity.
Oh, go ahead.
Okay. The key, the cross is about.
Sorrow, long-term sorrow, grief, and stress or
So
anxiety.
the key may be understanding that that is a situation you have to just kind of keep reminding yourself there's a sun.
Yeah.
We can all wallow in that. I'm not saying you're wallowing. I'm the wallower, frankly. But the thing is that at the end of the day or at the beginning of the day, we have to figure out how to get it back up on that horse and try again.
Yeah, exactly. We have to, we have to be positive. We have to be hopeful. And, I worry about this. Don't fall into a funk if things don't change for you dramatically in the next 2 to 3 months. But I think by the end of that 3 month period, there may be more of a glimmer of hope coming. You don't get the sun in a reading for no good reason, okay?
It's reversed. It's not a bad card. It's still a good card.
Right. Whatever way the sun comes up, it reminds me in a way of the clover in, the Lenormand. It's not necessarily a sign of luck, but it's a sign that things are going to shift for the better. So remain hopeful. Remain hopeful. That's all I can tell you right now. It could be the tarot is just not seeing the shift yet completely. They're seeing a lot of the imbalance that still exists for you and recognizing that, it still may take some time for you to get exactly where you want to be. So I wish you luck with that.
And he's back to say, "Oh, I'm so glad you cleaned up all my gerb up." That was him, I'm pretty sure.
Well, yeah, it couldn't have been her because I didn't.
That was her.
Yeah.
That was him. And it was a lot of cat food that was not even all digested.
So I wonder what's up with that.
It's him. He's always got a funny stomach.
Yeah, but both of them at the same time are throwing up. So I don't know.
Well,
anyway, who knows?
Marita, sorry I wasn't totally present there. I really did try, though.
If you want to go over anything again, you got to choose. Okay.
I think I said what I need to say.
Said some good stuff there, what needed to be said. Wish you luck with that, Marita. And Siama is up. Thank you. Hi, Siama. Hopefully the cat drama is over for now.
I know it was him because he ate the last of the cat food that was out this morning, and it was later. That's why it wasn't so digestive.
Well, they got treats too.
Yeah.
So.
Do we have their question?
I didn't look yet. I'm sorry.
Okay, I'll look.
I'm going.
General reading already.
Okay.
I'm going to use my new Shadow Work Tarot by Ethereal.
Wow, it looks like nobody. Hey, I'm not going to jinx it, but it looks like nobody's popping in. We will have a short show
today.
Just
did jinx it. That's cool. I wouldn't mind getting off early today. Everyone.
This will happen in some of the, pre-summer, summer months. Seems to remember that July can be really a drag sometimes. So, that's That's good. We can spend more time on readings for the people we have in the chat.
All right. That was Siama, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, this is good. Let's see what you
The
got.
moon reversed.
Huh, interesting.
The Two of Cups upright. Uh-oh. The Six of Swords upright. There's almost a story in this.
There is a story.
The moon is back.
And
It's reversed. It's Lenormand. It's the bear. Okay, my story seems to be that maybe you're going to find out, Siama, that somebody is thinking of you romantically or in loving ways. Maybe they're ready to meet you somehow or to journey towards you, or they want you to journey towards them. They want you to meet them. And for either of you, this may be a movement towards something better. You know, either this is because this relationship or situation is something that will be really strong for you and will move you away from bad things.
oh, well, I think here, wow, it's interesting. I mean, I don't know whether to go with a relationship or not. I mean, clearly there could be signs here that somebody could be coming into your life, or maybe somebody that you know already or are associating with is going to express some heartfelt feelings towards you with that Two of Cups there. The other thing about it, it could be, if it's non-romantic, it could just indicate to me that you're going to find out that somebody is going to reveal to you a desire to work with you on a project or goal, or, you know, maybe hire you if you're looking for work. So I can't rule out, you know, the moon in the Lenormand is a funny card, and I'm kind of looking at that as we speak here about all this stuff. This moon is about revelations. This moon is about either love or business success. And so it could go either way for me.
It could, because this could just be another kind of partnership.
Right. And so there's something harmonious here happening. And so, you know, if you've got your, if you're, you know, if you've been seeing somebody you're interested in, or, you know, if there's somebody in your life who, you know, somebody in your life now may unexpectedly express their interest in you. Either way, whatever this is, whether it's work or whether it's pleasure, you're going to a better place. This is meaning that things are going to be moving in a better direction for you than they have. You feel like, wow, what a breath of fresh air. This is like something new and exciting for you. And you are going to feel real empowered because of it.
You're empowered, and you're empowered to pursue whatever this is, if it's romantic or whether it's, you know, a great business possibility.
Yeah, this is like a really positive reading.
It's a good reading.
The bear to me is about self-empowerment, but it's also maybe saying that this is going to put you in a really comfortable, stable position for a while. It could be financially. It could just be within. You just feel really now comfortable, safe, and secure. So, Siama, I don't know what else to say. This is really good. I hope that this bears fruit for you. Good luck with that.
Good luck, Siama.
Oh, wow, Jackie. Well, it was an interesting read. I wasn't sure how it was going to turn out, but
just flowed right out of my lips, probably hers too. I mean, it just seemed like, wow, there's a real coherent story
I think
here.
we both had the same idea about the strict mom.
What?
We both had the same idea about the mom, strict mom, and that sort of thing.
Maybe you were the strict mom.
No.
No, I don't think so.
I think not here.
Alrighty.
Okay, so we
Victoria.
Victoria. Who's in now?
Victoria. Hey, Victoria. Will I receive good, happy info, communication this week? Anything.
Anything, looking for anything. I hear ya.
We hear ya.
V. Let me get out my Desert Illuminations Tarot for you. Well, it is a Two of Wands reversed. The Eight of Pentacles is reversed. But Death is upright. Kind of liking that part.
It's a man, baby. And it's a stork. Okay.
Yes. This is really interesting. Maybe some good news is afoot because, I'm looking at a progression here. I'm looking at the Two of Wands indicating that, well, maybe something hasn't been working out, but if you shift your strategy and your plans in some way or take a look at things, maybe try different approaches, not be afraid to step out of your comfort zone a little bit. More positive things can happen with the. Can I just go through a little bit, or do you want to hit that?
I just wanted to briefly say that I think in this position, the Two of Wands may be indicating that where you think you're going is not necessarily where you're going to go or where you should go.
With the Eight of Pentacles reversed, it's saying that, it's just as if, you want to give up on working on something right now. You're ready to throw in the towel on something and move on. Maybe that ties into this taking a new approach idea here. Maybe because you feel that, what you've been doing so far has not been generating the positive results that you had hoped for. However, Death is here upright, and I think that's what this is all leading to. You're going to. What?
It's also an anniversary.
Oh, it is a hard time. Well, that might be in the cards in the Lenormand, but we'll talk about that.
Read the one before that.
I did. Death reversed. Okay, well, Death upright is interesting saying what you said because I have been talking about this idea with some other people that the Death card can indeed indicate death. So, maybe that's what's been on your mind. But I also sense that things are about to shift and change for you in this week ahead. And it's positive transformation and growth generally. It's out with the old, outmoded things that haven't been working for you and taking on something new, going in a new direction, shedding your old skin and transforming into something else.
Reading between the lines, and I want to get back to some of the other cards, I'm almost wondering if the Death card is sort of coming here because, and I think it's more your father than your mother, that maybe you should, talk to him about your situation. I don't know if you have an altar for these kind of things, but maybe you should talk to him in a space and say, Dad, what would you do? What would you do to try to get ahead? I'm just going to leave it at that. But I do think the reversed Eight of Pentacles could also mean thinking out of the box. could also mean saying the rules aren't working for you, Victoria, and so you may have to try to break the rules and find rules that do work for you. And maybe that's why death is there too, because it's really about embracing that total philosophy of a big change out of the box, pull the rug out, flip the script, however you want to look at that.
I just thought you want to see that about talking to Dad.
No kidding. Yes, I had that feeling that your mom is important to you, but not as much as your father in a way.
Well, clearly the store could indicate a change of residence. You know, it could
Yeah,
very much
yeah.
indicate that. It does indicate a new beginning of some sort. And ironically, a man is here. Could that be your father telling you
That's why I said that,
it's
because I think that represents him.
okay? It's possible here that maybe, you know, since this is a time they've passed or whatever, and you think about your father a lot, that he might be letting you know, and maybe that a new beginning is coming for you this week. I would love to think so. So,
A nest is a small community,
a new
Victoria.
opportunity, a new beginning does look like a tiny home, doesn't it? And so cozy, cozy. And so I think here that there's definitely possibilities either way here for maybe some good news coming regarding a new direction in life, a big change, a radical change from maybe some of what hasn't been working for you. So I do think ultimately it's good news. Good luck with that.
You may
Anything you want
know.
to add? Anything else? Or
No, not really. I mean, just going through it again, I think a lot of just talks about getting ready to make big changes. Change is obviously there, but I feel like this says think out of the box, flip the script. And this says that maybe the way you thought you were going isn't the way you're going to be going. That's why these cards are here, I think.
room for the litter box. I would need room for all of my tarot decks.
The litter.
I need a
Okay.
tiny home for just my tarot decks. A she shed. Except I can't have one on condo property. Oh well.
You're welcome.
All right, good luck with that.
So it's Lena.
Yep, we've made it to Lena.
Mm-hmm. Is that my deck, right?
Yeah.
Finances for June, July, and August. All righty.
Hey, you're welcome.
Hi, Lena.
Hey, Lena. Good to see you. Do you want to do 3 cards?
Hi, Naya.
One for each. I'll do
Sure.
it overall Lenormand, but do you want to do 3 cards, one for each month?
Yeah, we can do it that way.
Let's do
Okay,
it that
so let
way.
me focus. And
You
we'll
do-
put you on the list.
We're going to do one for June, July, and August, Lena. 1 card for each. Hi, Naya.
I'm going to use my Incubus Tarot.
Take care, Victoria. Have a great day.
Take care.
Rest of your
We love you too, sweetie. I see you're doing really good with your book. I'm going to have to try to get a hold of it.
Uh-oh. I lost. There it is. Lost my cursor for a moment. The cursive cursor.
I'll talk to you later. All right. June, July, and August finances. June. It's the Two of Swords reversed.
Okay, let's
And so the Two of Swords may indicate that it's time for you to maybe work on situations Well, let's see. It's really about the finances. I think what this is saying is that the finances may start to move, but it's not clear that they're going to move in a better direction or not. There's a possibility that some movement may happen and that where you're at right now may shift one way or the other. I'm wanting to think it'd be in a good direction, but I'm not really sure that I see that. It seems to me like where it could be coming from is the idea that more movement or action needs to happen for some reason.
Well, yeah, I think here that there are time that June is a time to really consider making moves to improve your financial circumstances. If you have worries, if you feel that you don't have enough money or resources, this is a time to try to really focus on doing something about it. Or if it's a matter of better managing the money that you have and are making, it's time to put a plan in place. This is no more sitting on the sidelines. This month is a time to do something about it.
All right, so then we're looking at July. And it's the upright Queen of Pentacles. So
Nice.
maybe decisions you are making in June will manifest better in July. The Queen of Pentacles is somebody who maybe has a sense of control over their finances, but also their household, also things that maybe are adjacent to the household. So, for example, if you work in an office, then you are achieving more mastery there. But this is also about maybe solidifying and beautifying your position. Solidifying in the sense of what are the angles that relate to your security there? You know, is your job in a secure situation, or will you be able to make it more secure if you need that?
Well, if you make the right moves in June, it certainly seems like it's going to pay off in July.
It does.
That things will improve for you. You will feel much better and more safer and secure financially. Uh, but failing that, even June aside, July seems to be a
Better.
really solid month for you to move forward with bettering your your material conditions.
Even the king or queen would sort of add to the idea too that maybe keep in touch with your investments. Your investments may also be a source of revenue or just security for you. All right, so then we move to August. And August is another court card. It's the Page of Cups. That's upright. So it could be that an invitation or some communication that invites you or imagines you moving into something more intuitive. It could be saying that maybe you're going to be visualizing or daydreaming about other things you can do to enhance your prosperity. So this could be saying lining up for a change of job if you find something that's really suitable, but it could mean other things too. Maybe there's a promotion possibility where you work at now, and this could be saying you're going to try to imagine how you can move into that.
I think August brings good news, good news about your finances, good news coming if you're applying for jobs. It's possible you will get an acceptance letter or, what do you call it? Um, an offer, an offer for employment. So it whatever it is, something in August is going to make you feel really happy and joyful about, your financial conditions. It's almost seeming like they do tend to look like the last reading, like with Victoria, in a way that this is kind
A
of
progression.
sequential,
Yeah.
right?
Sequentially. I like that.
Yeah, that it just seems like bam, bam, bam. But whether you actually follow through with this in June or not, it just looked like July and August are the better months for things to really gel for you financially. So
All
let's
right.
take a look at what Lenormand I've got here, overview.
It's the book and the stars. I like it.
Me too. Starfish. um, I guess I would just say that maybe the book is, the book is about research and all of that. But I'm seeing the stars here, and I'm kind of thinking to myself that this is just saying that you will find things out or learn things in these next 3 months that will give you more optimism, that will bring you more hope, that will maybe align things so that your financial material life, gets on the track that you had hoped it would.
I like what you said about the stars because the stars are in alignment. They are fixed in the
Yes.
sky and we can predict where they will go. This is telling me that maybe sticking with the stars will move along with you towards some mastery. At some point, good stars, good luck happens to people, whether it's because Jupiter or some other beneficent planet moves into a sphere that's relatable for you. That's a planet. But even so, the stars are your friend in this significance. I think this is saying a destiny is coming to you, and that maybe over the course of these 3 months, you're finding out how that really works. All right.
Wow, that's what we have for you. Good luck with that.
Good luck, Lena.
I want to cross the streams a little bit here for Kara. Um, but it's up to you. Because I definitely want to pull a card from this deck for her. But do
The
you,
Nana message.
yeah, but do you want to use
Use
one
my
of those?
ghost tarot.
Yeah.
Oh,
Do you have it? He does. He brought the ghost
you
tarot.
probably didn't notice it, but I'm only using darker tarot decks today.
I've noticed those are kind of dark, but I didn't know.
I mean, all the decks I've used.
Right.
Alrighty.
I don't consider the ghost tarot that dark a deck, though, for some reason. Am I crazy? Okay, so it looks dark in tone, but. Ooh, that's scary. Okay. I just like ghosts. So.
And I think that the ghost like you.
All right. Hey, you're welcome, Siama. Nice reading for you there.
That was a pretty nice one. I hope you liked it. So I'm doing the regular reading, and then you're doing those?
And I'll do the Lenormand.
And the Lenormand? Okay. So what was that question exactly? Does Nana have a message?
I think it was close to that, yes.
Does my Nana, Charlotte, have a red herring for me? Oh, wait, no. Charlotte Herring. Sorry.
Have a message. Is that it?
Yes.
Okay.
A red herring message.
Kara, ignore him, please.
No, don't ignore me. Because if you ignore me...
Yeah, he's bound to act out. That's true. Look at this.
I love the ghost tarot.
Look at this. He's right on the edge. So, like, literally, Sonny wants in on your reading, Kara.
Okay, so is that your reading then? 1, 2, 3?
No.
Does my Nana have a message for me?
I think 3 cards this
Alrighty.
time.
Card the first. The upright Wheel of Fortune.
Wow.
She's going to tell you where the family money is buried. Okay, maybe not that. Next card is the upright 7 of Wands. And then finally, it's the reverse star. So a little gloom with not so bad.
She wants a tamale.
Hola.
We'll talk about that later.
All right.
But let me get the Lenormand going too on this. Gosh, Sonny. Why? Why?
I'm wondering if the message is to expect some unexpected good luck. That's the Wheel of Fortune. It's upright. Yet at the other end of it is sort of like dismal, the star reversed. So maybe there is something dubious in unexpected things happening. But the Seven of Wands says you may have to fight for this thing. You may have to stand up for this thing.
Wow, it's interesting. In one reading, you went the other way with the Seven of Wands. That person was on top, but you went that way with this one. I guess it's the
Well, it's because it's
cards.
the message from Grandma.
Oh, this is an
Nana
interesting one
says you
too.
have to fight for certain things, like mice. Victoria, you left too early. We had the mice right here. And fish. Fish and mice. Not very happy.
Well, I think Nana's message to you so far, without looking at the tamale yet, is that this turn of events with her now past, she wants you to realize that there is something good to be gained from her passing. And that is, Kara, that you have an ally on the other side. Somebody willing to fight for you there and watch after you there and help you, when you are struggling. So you don't have to be that person on that hill struggling alone. She's now here to help you, I think, with that. And the star is reversed there. Is that what you said? That's the star?
It's the star and it's reversed.
The star is reversed here. And she really does not want you to feel sad and pessimistic about her passing because she feels that, her time, right, has passed, and that now she can be a force for good, on the other side. I just felt that when I saw the wheel come up. I said, this is fate, and she wants to be there now to support her family, from the other side. And I think here with the fish and the mice, what it is saying to me a little bit here is that sometimes, how do I want to say this? Oh, should I let you go? Was there something else you wanted to add for the top, or are you done there?
You have a Nana in the ghost world land. Charlotte Herring. Charlotte Herring. What's that to
Okay.
the tune of?
I know that's the old commercial. Don't worry. Other people may not know that because that was a
It
local
was more regional.
commercial.
Okay, so what I really think is I like what you said better than what I said. Your Nana is that ally standing up for you there too. And that could be that maybe she's not exactly limited to just the ghost world at this point, that maybe she has the ability to be in other dimensional areas too. So, for example, wherever the Norse realm resides, it's not in the ghost world, it's some other realm. But still, I feel like she is here to tell you there are good things that are going to happen to you, but there may be things that you're going to have to, take with a grain of salt. The idea that not everything is something she can totally help you with, but she will try.
Right, and I'm wondering about that here with the mice and the fish. Um, but I was also wondering if it was about her connection in some way, that it's still taking her, she's still getting her footing there, she's still
Ah,
not totally settled in, but she's trying. And I think that's only temporary. It's only temporary. So if you feel as though you can't totally, she may be sending messages like you've been getting some rather odd occurrences happening to let you know she's trying to reach out to you guys, but it's still not totally, she's not totally settled, which is why maybe some of the message may seem a little bit disruptive or unusual in some ways. But I think she's got your best interests at heart here, and I feel like, in time that's going to change.
you
Let's
know,
look. Go ahead.
I don't know if I asked you this before, but was your grandma like a little bit of a troublemaker in a way, like a little rascal in her own way? Because I almost feel like that's why she's not settling in, because she's not that kind to settle in. And that's why I perceived her as not being totally down with the ghost world thing. And that's why she said, she's not settled in there because she doesn't want to be there. She wants to be everywhere she can be. And, there are ghosts like that, intelligences that maybe don't go with the plan. Hi, Shreya.
Hi, Shreya. We will
Good to see
add
you.
you to the list. It's not too late. We had a shorter list today.
Yep, we can
I'll
get to
get you on
those.
the list in a moment. I really want to
It's good
finish
to
this
see you.
reading because this is exciting. Let's put the tamale out there now.
Okay, the tamale is out there.
And this is really such a sweet message, Kara. Well, first off, the tamales mean unwrap your outer layers and reveal your most delicious interior. And the message from your Nana is, my beloved, let yourself be enveloped by my love, cradled by my care, and fed by my gratitude. You've pulled this card because I want you to know how thankful I am for the unique ways you've loved me. And now it's your turn. The message of this card is to treat yourself with the same tenderness, kindness, and honoring you shower upon me. I want you to take time for yourself by tending to the needs of your most vulnerable, delicate interior self. Identify what you need and let yourself be completely selfish. Find a safe, cozy nook where you can loosen the wrappings of your outer husk. Allow your feelings to unravel. Let yourself cry if that's what you need, and let your tears soften your heart. Trust the gentle promptings of your softest, most sacred center. When you are ready, pull up a chair at the sumptuous banquet table life has set for you.
Oh, how sweet.
It's such a beautiful message. She wants you to really take care of yourself. She wants you to think kindly on yourself now with all the love that you used to give to her. Shower it on yourself now. What a sweet message. I love that.
And I think that, when I look at the star, it did trouble me a little bit, but I think what it's saying is that, you will have good things, but you will also have moments where maybe you'll have to reflect on deeply where you really want to go. And it's up to you to make that decision. Whether there are fish or mice in your future, it's your future.
That's what we have for you. Wow, I hope that resonated, Kara. Good luck with that. This deck is very nice. I like it a lot.
You're welcome. All right, so we are on Naya,
Yep, Naya's up, and then
and then Shreya.
Shreya, that's right. Let me.
Okay, Naya, so we need your question. I don't think we have it yet. In the meantime, I will remind everybody happy hour is going to be on at 4 p.m. next Saturday because I work earlier. So check it out. It's our single card draw from either a tarot or oracle deck designed to uplift your spirit and enlighten you. Also, we will be back Thursday night for this show, 7 to 9 p.m.
My candle's going out. I wonder why.
Naya, we need a
Hey,
question.
Naya, did you abandon us?
There you are.
Oh, there you go. You're lucky. It's your turn. Go ahead and post your question. So, I'm not seeing one.
Well, she just said here, so give her a moment to type a question.
I am.
Hmm. How will you meet your future spouse? That's your deck.
Okay.
Alrighty.
It's the Hierophant reversed. Oh my goodness. The Tower upright. But the Seven of Wands is upright too. Huh.
Do you want to see my Lenormand?
I do.
A dog and lilies, which tells me something pretty specific.
That is pretty specific. I don't
A
know.
good friend who becomes more
Over time.
over time.
So is it somebody they know now or is it somebody
Not
later?
sure about that, but I almost
Yeah.
wonder, because of the other cards, if in the aftermath of some other situation,
Yes.
that's what happens.
Yes. Yes. Totally agree. Do you want to go forward or you want me
Okay,
to?
I'll give it a start. So, the Hierophant says how you will meet them is unconventionally. It's unconventional because maybe something breaks down, i.e., a relationship you're in, it's not going to go forward, it's going to actually fall apart. You may learn some things from it, but you're standing up for yourself, and maybe a person who stood by you as a loyal friend over time would eventually move into that position. That's sort of a short version of it. There could be a lot of other nuance there. But the gist of it is that maybe you are involved with somebody, but it's not going to work out. And in that unbreaking, that's where you find the friend who will eventually become your spouse.
Oh, what did I say the first card was again? I know the
It's the
Tower.
Hierophant reversed.
Yes,
That's
the
why I said unconventional.
unorthodoxy, the unorthodoxy. You know, I think here, yes, it's going to be an unusual way. It's not going to be like through a normal way of finding someone. So I don't think this is somebody you know now. So I'm going to rule out that this is an old friend that just develops into
Right.
a deep relationship. I think this is somebody you're going to meet. And it may, as Mr. O said, happened after some sort of disruption in your life. I don't know what that means exactly. I'm not going to say it's from a relationship that goes south necessarily, but I do think it's some disruption. Whether you lose a job and you move on to another job and you meet somebody by chance there, or whether, let's say, you have to move from where you live now and because something forces you to make a move, and you have to start all over again, and you meet someone there. It just seems like something disrupts when something disruptive happens in your life. It may open the door to something happening to you, and you meeting somebody who ends up becoming a friend and ally. I feel like that Seven of Wands feels twofold to me here. Like, once you get back on your feet again after this disruption and you get yourself more settled, somebody will come into your life that will just start off as a good friend or somebody you know very well, and it will grow into something more strong. And or it could be that this person may be involved in helping you out of a crisis or a jam of some sort, and you'll be able, they'll become a good friend of yours or confidant, and it will develop into something more. Maybe it's a shared crisis that you both undergo and go through. I think about, for example, a company going out of business and everybody's left floundering, and you end up finding your way. You support each other and you find a way forward. That's just an example I'm throwing out there.
So, what really draws my attention here is that these cards almost resemble each other.
I
They
know.
both look like the Tower, but
Yeah.
obviously it's not the Tower, it's the Seven of Wands. But I kind of like the idea of that similar feel there. Some breaks
do.
at the top.
I do, because whatever this tower moment is for you, or this crisis, or this sudden thing that happens to you, you land on your feet. You land on your feet really well, whether it's through the help of others or this particular person or something else. But it does feel to me like you will meet somebody who will become close to you through this unusual occurrence and situation.
I think so.
And they will be the one that, will be your future spouse.
Alrighty.
It's kind of weird, this reading. Good luck with that.
Good luck, Nia. And that means we're on Shreya. Hi, Shreya.
Shreya. See, I didn't have to wait long, Shreya. You came at the right moment.
Yes, not as long as sometimes people wait.
That's right. Okay, so you're not in contact with them, but you're wondering because he's not in a committed relationship right now, if you should possibly consider going back to him.
All right.
And
that's
if
pretty
he has
straightforward.
any intentions towards you. Kind of what I'm getting from that. Your deck?
My deck. Okay, let's see. What do I want to use?
Oh, hi, Kelsey.
Hi, Kelsey.
Do we want to add Kelsey? I think
We can add Kelsey. Hi, Kelsey.
Kelsey. Our list was really small, so you'll be next after Shreya.
The one we're on right now.
Yep.
Not bad. Pretty good. Hope you are too. I'm going to use my black tarot for this reading.
Oh.
You're welcome.
Right.
So the basic question is, should you consider Prithvi and or his intentions towards you? All right. And of course, if we don't really get a specific answer, we can try a yes or no too. Okay, so the first card is the reversed King of Wands. The next card is the upright Page of Cups. And rounding that out is the upright Queen of Cups. So some of this looks favorable, perhaps.
I'm sorry, could you repeat
Reverse King of Wands, upright Page of Cups, upright Queen of Cups.
Okay, here, let me throw this at you.
Here's the ring and the sun. Well, I wonder if Prithvi mostly is not very brave or not very confident, and that might be the only thing holding him up in a way. Maybe he feels like he's not sure if he's, going to try to reacquaint with you or not. That's the first card, the King of Wands reversed.
I sometimes get a different impression of the King of Wands, and that's a perfectly valid one, but I can't help but wonder here, Shreya, does this person hold some anger or resentment towards you or in the past because you're not in contact now? Or did they just wander off and get involved with somebody else? Because I'm wondering if there's still some lingering negative feelings towards you for some reason. And maybe I'm wrong, and maybe that's why I'm thinking his might be right, but I'm wondering about that.
Well, the other cards are definitely more promising than that one.
Absolutely. But
Page of Cups could be the sense of them thinking about you or thinking about getting in touch with you, communicating?
I wasn't done, but and actually I really think I need that answer because I agree with Mr. O
He
that
ghosted me and started seeing someone else.
that's it.
All you had to do is pay attention.
Okay, that's it. Did you see that before you went ahead though?
No,
Okay, thank you. So at any rate, that does inform me as to what I wanted to know. So I think Mr. O might be onto something here that he just might, maybe after ghosting you and all, he may not feel very confident about connecting with you again. Maybe there's a little bit of guilt there. Maybe he just
should be.
feels he needs to move on. However, the Page of Cups seems to indicate to me that there could be a potential here. He may want to rekindle connections with you. It's a positive sign of that. And
Queen
the
of Cups.
Queen of Cups indicates that he really is looking for somebody who is kind, caring, and willing to shower him with a lot of love and affection.
It's possible that he thinks this way about himself, or that most people might see him as being this kind of person. You might not because he ghosted you. But that is another possibility. I like what she said, though. I think that maybe he sees you in that regard, too. And that represents his intentions in a way, too, that he would see you as being a suitable mate, perhaps.
Only because that King of Wands is reversed here, I'm a little bit concerned that even if he wants to get it, possibly rekindle something, will he? That's my question. Now, looking at the sun in the ring, that's a very positive sign here.
Totally.
However, is it just saying to me that he is definitely determined to find a successful connection, a successful marriage worthy relationship right now? He's into wanting a successful commitment with someone. So is that you?
Okay.
Ah, hmm. That's interesting.
I feel that it is about you, because the question and the way I wanted to interpret him was, what are his intentions towards you? So I sort of feel that this could be his intentions in general, but it is
Yeah,
also
yeah.
about you. Like he is probably marriage minded or spouse minded.
And you were under consideration possibly once upon a time, but then he thought he found someone better, right?
Now, of course, what you say there sort of adds to the idea that, he may be insecure if he doesn't feel he's getting enough attention. And so that's something you'll have to think about, whether that's realistic in terms of a relationship between you.
He really wants to be doted on. He wants,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
undivided attention of his spouse. That's what that Queen of Cups seems to indicate to me. So, that's his intentions. That's what he's looking for. So, like you said, he thought you were too busy in the past, so he didn't think you were the material he was looking for. But he might be willing to consider you now.
So, Shreya, you say in the original question that there's no contact.
Yeah.
Would you be thinking you would be good in contacting him, or somehow he needs to know that you might still be interested?
Yeah, how would you get that across? That's a really good point. And I was actually thinking about that
Oh, no
myself.
kidding. Okay.
I was, because I'm thinking, well, what are you going to do about this situation? I mean, we can tell you somebody's intense, but if you have to wait for them to act, that could be problematic. And maybe they won't act at all. So
Consider that.
consider it. Consider that there must be a way for you to try to open this door again and see if it's possible. Because if you're waiting on him, it's really unclear to me. He has to decide, he has to come to the realization in his own mind that maybe he was wrong about you, that maybe you could be this kind of person that he's looking for. But, without the communication, how's that going to happen?
And that if he has any lingering feelings of unconfidence or something like that, he needs to get over that.
Yeah, I know. I agree. So I think here there is potential. The sun is showing optimism and promise here. He's definitely looking to settle down. I think ultimately he wants that. And he's looking for somebody who will give him all the love he requires and attention that he requires. It sounds a little one-sided to me, but it just might be because that, it may not be. It just might be that's where his intentions are right now. He may wind up being a very loving person to the person who gives him exactly what he needs.
So there you go.
So I wish you luck
Good
with
luck,
that.
Shreya.
That's a tricky one.
All right. We are on Kelsey.
Kelsey is up.
Hey, Kelsey. And
You're welcome, Shreya.
I hope that made sense.
Secure job.
At the FI company. That's going to be your
Yep.
deck.
This one. Wow, last reading, and Sunny finally gives me the room to shuffle. Thanks, Sunny.
Oh, I bet somebody will show up in the next few minutes.
I can think of one person. Can you?
Two.
Okay. Yep. We'll see if we're right. Okay. Let's see what's going on. And if this isn't very clear, we'll do a quick yes, no.
Kelsey, is this job something that maybe is more long distance for you, or that it's not exactly very close for you, but that it would possibly be a job you would like? Just asking based on what I saw in my Lenormand. Alrighty, here we go.
Well, we start with the Ten of Wands upright. Oh, goodness. And then we got the Five of Swords reversed. It's rather close. Okay.
Oh, okay. Good to know that.
Oh, man.
Thank you. Ooh.
It's the Tower upright.
Alrighty. So here's my cryptic cards. I have the Ship and the Woman, which is most likely you.
Well, I'm not sure this is going to work out for you, unfortunately. The Ten of Wands indicates some stress or burdens in obtaining this position. I'm not sure why. It just seems like the company may have certain demands that you might not be able to fulfill, or they feel that way. Let's put it that way, because it may or may not be true, but that's the way they might be looking at it. It's possible, too, that maybe the company right now might be undergoing some shifts and changes that may make them make it burdensome for them to hire you at this time.
I'm sort of feeling that vibe too, that there's something going on.
Something up here.
And besides it being burdens that they may be bearing, I'm looking at it from their perspective, it could be obligations too. Like maybe somebody who has a positioner might favor somebody else or want to direct this more in certain respects. I don't think it's a no with that card. It's just saying there are some obstacles there or some situations that maybe are beyond, anything you can do.
Well, you know what, Kelsey? I always say, prove us wrong. Keep trying to manifest it, okay? Keep trying to manifest it. Some of these cards here that have showed up are kind of hard-hitting, but the tarot's only a snapshot in time. So I want you to not get let this bring you down. There are some struggles here. You've got the Swords reversed, and the Five of Swords is not a very positive card either way. I mean, the kind of question you've asked, it's hard for me to give this a good spin, but I would say that maybe, you know, maybe you're going to realize that this battle for this job or whatever it is not worth fighting for ultimately.
So, if I'm reading between the lines with that last thing you said, it's sort of like people in this company may be obliged to promote other people rather than hire
That's what
from
I was
outside.
talking about
The
here, the
burden, the
burden.
burden.
So that's why that Ten of Wands may be here. That's really interesting, Kelsey.
I'm sorry you're so stressed. I know that feeling in a way. Um,
Oh man. And the tower to me is upright, which should be more positive than if it was reversed. But, the tower
in the
brings
context.
with it sudden shifts and changes that can be disruptive. They can be disruptive, but oftentimes they're necessary.
I think we will have to do a yes or no because a lot of this looks really pointed, but there's still a small sense of vagary about it.
There is some vagary, but it's really leaning more negative, but not in a bad way. I think you come to some realizations through this experience.
Mhm.
That's what the tower's about. Something jolts you and makes you realize you have to do something different now. You have to do something different in order to succeed. And that's where I think these cards are coming
Yes.
in. It's showing you making another move. It's showing you moving towards something different, moving towards something that may be a better opportunity for you. I have to say that these are kind of neutral cards here. The move just says you are going to shift and make a move. Thanks, Sonny. You're going to shift and make a move
Lay down.
towards something
Lay down, you silly
something
bunny.
else. Is it possible that they may make a move or shift towards something else? Maybe.
Now, I almost wonder too, is like maybe the interviewer knows this stuff is going on, but like once somebody is moved into the position, another position's open, and maybe that's why they're keeping you on the line in a way because they like you enough maybe to ask you if you would consider that other position. I'm not saying that's true. I'm just sort of saying maybe that's a possibility.
Well, I'm going to do the yes no,
Yes.
but it may muddy the waters a bit here from what we're seeing. But let's take a look, because Mr. O is not clear that it's necessarily going to not work out for you. It may be that it's just a struggle and a really battle trying to get things moving there. And maybe that's why the ship is there too. That maybe ultimately movement will occur, but it may not happen on your time frame here.
Ah, so the interview did like you, is what it looks like. I'm sure they probably did. Um, so maybe it works out at some point.
It's funny they haven't filled it yet, though, if there's been no movement
There's,
there.
well, years ago they said that the problem with hiring and employment was that the average for most companies of a certain type to hire somebody took 6 months, which is kind of crazy. Aren't you doing your
Yes.
cards?
Crazy. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I put them back? I
I
did,
don't know
but
which
not
one.
totally. I grabbed them. So we do
And these
need to
days,
do
I'd like to
yes,
think that
no.
maybe efficiency means we can pick people in less than 6 months, but who really knows,
Do
right?
you want me to do the long one since we have time, since she's
Yeah,
the
go ahead and
last
do the
reading?
long one. Chelsea's our last one so far, right? We haven't
Yeah.
gotten anybody else.
So we'll do our more general yes, no.
This one also gives us a little bit more to play with, some other ideas that may pop up.
Possibly.
Look at you. You like this. You like this. Look at you. You, my boy. You, my boy. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Isn't he adorable? You is adorable. Kelsey thinks so. I know she does. Kara probably does if she's still here. Aw. He is, except when he has little accidents on the carpet. And I mean, like, he eats so fast sometimes that then all of a sudden he's like, why do you eat so fast? Because you're always afraid the other guys are going to grab it from you. And they don't. And his hair flies a lot because he's got really fine hair. And I think he's just shedding. You can almost see it wafting off of him, hitting my nose and tickling. You sweetie, you cutie pie.
Well, it's not a definite no, but it's leaning towards no. You did get the Ace of Coins, and that's just telling us whether it's a yes or no, how many aces we get in this reading. And we only got one, so it's leaning towards no. The Hanged Man is reversed, and the Queen of Cups is upright.
The Queen of Cups could represent the interviewer who likes you, or the idea that maybe somebody appreciates you. Not necessarily that they can do this, but the Hanged Man may say they're in a tight spot themselves. That maybe because of what you've mentioned about, somebody else having to be promoted, blah, blah, blah. That could represent the idea that there's a suspension going on, and maybe it toggles back and forth, and that's employment for you too, in a way too, like maybe they have to go through the motions of talking to these people, of getting them into the interview ticket, and then maybe somebody says, I don't know, and so then there's more bickering with it. I just sort of feel like it's not going to be an easy answer one way or the other.
Well, the Hanged Man is reversed there, so I think the suspension is over. I don't know.
Okay, you're right. I'm talking through my head.
Yeah, because I think here that either they're going to fill that position internally or something's going to happen here. I will say this, was it just one person that interviewed you, Kelsey? Was it just that one interviewer? Or are there other people that were involved in this process? Because I'm wondering if there was somebody there that was holding out and maybe unwilling to change their mind about giving you the position. So I just wonder.
Two.
Oh, there were two. Okay. So I can't help but wonder if maybe somebody was the stumbling block here. Somebody unwilling to make that sacrifice or change. The Queen of Cups, I have to agree, could be the ally that you had. I almost feel like there's this dichotomy, and that's why I went this way. I'm like, it seems like somebody was against this or unwilling to make that move while somebody else was.
Well, one thing you might want to do is just, if you haven't done it, and I think we talked to you about it, and you said you had done it, but, send an email or a card saying, thank you for the interview. It was lovely to have this opportunity. And maybe say, facetiously.
If that position is still open, I'm still very interested in it. Yeah. And just, thank them again and just say what a vital asset you feel you'd be to the company. And I'd say never if you really have your heart set on that. But don't stop applying and putting all your eggs in this basket. That would be my advice at this point. Sometimes when we really go beyond what we have been hoping for and go, say, okay, I'm not giving up, but I'm going to extend my search elsewhere. Sometimes that ends up happening, once you do that, that door finally opens. So I would just keep searching for jobs while you're waiting on these people. And I wish you luck with that. I hope it works out for you ultimately.
In the early 80s, it was the Reagan presidency, and the economy was really kind of crappy for the first few years. And I tried for 4 to 5 years to get out of a really dead end job I was in. I really hated it. And it took me literally all of that 4 or 5 years to get out of there. But it happened eventually, but I had to keep with it. And I hope, you can keep with it too, or that you won't have to wait 4 or 5 years.
Well, you have to keep us posted what
Please.
ultimately happens here. I'll be curious. But right now, it's not looking all that good. But you never know. I would just, if you keep showing interest and that it's something that you really desire, maybe they will change their tune. Especially if, maybe it's possible that people in the company are turning down the position for whatever reason if they haven't filled it yet. So I wish you luck with that. All right. Well, we're done.
We are done.
I want to thank everybody who did show up today. It was a great, relaxed kind of show. We appreciate you and hope you'll come back again and hope to see you all very, very soon. Take
You're
care.
welcome, Kelsey.
Have a great rest of your day or evening. Bye for now.
Bye.